Hello, everybody. My name is TTLB, and today we are going to be talking about a TikTok content creator who is called Nara Smith. Now, Nara Smith is widely hated across TikTok for some reason, and she got popular off making cooking videos where she makes every single thing from scratch. So today we are going to be watching her videos and seeing if she really is like as bad as people say she is or if she really deserves all of the hate that she gets. So let's
Husband
dive
was on
into
his
it.
way out to get a cookies and cream soft serve, but I told him I'll just make it for him instead, so that's exactly what I did. I started by making my Oreos by combining some flour, cocoa powder, butter, some sugar, and egg, and then letting that go until it all comes together. Then I grabbed a baking sheet that was lined with parchment paper and formed little balls that I spaced evenly onto it. I ended up making 2 baking sheets, and once the balls were formed, I used my palm to flatten them out. I put them in the fridge for about 10 minutes and then popped them in the oven for 10 minutes. And while those cooled, I got started on my filling, which was just butter, vanilla, and some powdered sugar. I beat that until it was light and fluffy, and then transferred it over to a little Ziploc bag because I didn't have a piping bag. The filling was so delicious, I kept snacking on it while I was filling my Oreos. After spreading an even layer on one of the cookies, I put another one on top, and there you go. I put some of them aside and then used the rest for my soft serve ice cream. I did a mix of cookies without filling and with filling. For my ice cream, I combined some milk, heavy cream, some sugar, some salt, and vanilla. Put that in my KitchenAid and let that churn until it reached the consistency I wanted. Then I put all of my Oreo cookies in there, let it go for another 5 to 10 minutes, and then it had the perfect soft serve consistency. I spooned it into my little ramekin, topped it with some more Oreo cookies, and I could not resist having a bowl myself, and it was really good.
All right. So from this video that we just watched, I kind of see why people don't like her. Like, imagine saying, "Oh, honey, I'm gonna go get some cookies and cream ice cream," and then she just says, "No, I'll make you some," and then you're like, "All right," but you're waiting. Hey, honey, is the ice cream done yet? Nope. Just wait a little bit more. And then you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And then, like, the next day, she's like, honey, your ice cream's ready. And you're like, I don't want ice cream anymore. But I'm just going to say the cookies she made look bomb as hell. Like, I would eat that in a second. But yeah. So for now, I kind of see it, but I don't think she deserves all the hate that she gets. But I don't know. Maybe she's done worse in other videos, so let's check out another video.
Some baby names that are on my list that I won't be using. For reference, our kids have pretty unique names. My daughter's name is Rumble Honey Smith, and my son's name is Slim Easy Smith. So these might be a little out there, but let's get started. For girl's name, I really love the name Odie, Pepper, Dawn. They're all really cute to me. I really like Cherry as a middle name. My husband doesn't really like that name. I also like Bubble as a second name. That might be controversial. And I love the name Pear as a first name. And then for boys, I love the name Frosty still, if you guys remember. What else was there? Sunny, Silver, Zen. Those are a few, but we won't be using them for this baby.
Okay. I just figured out that people don't hate her because she made everything from scratch. Well, that might be a little bit of a reason why, but people hate her because of her stupid baby names. Why would you name your kids Rumble Honey and Slim Easy? What? She wants school attendance to be her kid's worst nightmare. Like, why would you consider Bubble and Silver as a baby name? Like, I guess she said that she wasn't using these, but why would you consider them as one? Like, pick something normal. Like Jackson. That's a that's a normal name. Pick that.
Asking for Here's everything I eat in a day as someone that loves to cook, is 34 weeks pregnant, but is having a really lazy cooking day. I had to start my day off with a cup of rooibos tea and some milk. I also hate the taste of water, so today I opted for some iced water with some apple juice just to stay hydrated, and then moved on to making my breakfast. I've been into savory and sweet breakfast, so I decided on caramelized soy mushrooms on one side of the toast and tomato on the other. I also had some of my kids' leftover oatmeal with some peach, vanilla puree, and banana. And then I always need a lunch pick-me-up, so I had a culture pop and an iced lavender honey tea. Since we're sticking to quick and easy meals, I did a baked potato with some quick pickled sumac onions, a kimchi tartar sauce, and honey mustard salmon. While the potato was baking, I made my sides and marinated my salmon. And then 15 minutes before the potato was done roasting, I popped the salmon in, let that roast, and then assembled it all with butter, the salmon, tartar sauce, dill, and the pickled onions. You guys, this was divine. I love a little afternoon pick-me-up, so I had this coconut mango smoothie that I have almost every single day, and this sumo citrus. They've been one of my pregnancy cravings, and I need to have one at least every day. When dinner time rolled around, I wanted something comforting. I've been thinking about making gnocchi soup for so long, so that's what I did today. I chopped up some carrots, celery, and onion, let that sweat down with some sun-dried tomato oil before adding some Calabrian chili, tomato paste, adding my shredded chicken. In the meantime, my husband was making us an arugula parmesan salad. I also needed to use up some kale, so I tossed it in there as well before adding my cauliflower gnocchi and dressing the salad. Plated up my dinner, added some lemon and Parmesan cheese on top. I was starving at this point, so I couldn't wait and I burnt my mouth, but it was definitely worth it. Here's everything.
I'm sorry. That is a lazy day of cooking? What does your average day of cooking look like, Miss Nara? She makes me, and I should cook a lot, and she makes me look like I've just gone out and gotten like Uber Eats or something. Like, she made garlic butter from scratch. She made the butter from scratch! Like, what the hell? How? Like, I'm just confused. And what are those like purple tomatoes? Are those like rich people tomatoes? Because I'm confused. But
Everything I eat in a Today my toddlers wanted cereal for breakfast again, so I decided to make some cinnamon toast crunch since that's my husband's favorite cereal and the kids have never had it. So I combine all of my dry ingredients into a bowl, give that a really good mix, and then slowly add some oil and water. I incorporate everything with my spatula and then move on to using my hands. Then I add in the cinnamon and make sure it's incorporated before putting my dough on some parchment paper. I use another sheet of parchment paper on top and roll it out as thin as I can. Once it's rolled out, I'm using a pizza cutter to just cut it into squares or rectangles. You can do it in whatever shape you want. I ended up making 2 batches, sprinkled it with some sweetener. You can use sugar. I used monk fruit sweetener. I put it on my parchment paper and baked it in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes before I turned it down to 250 and baked it for another 35. I pulled it out the oven, let it cool, and then broke the squares apart before adding them to bowls with some milk. And this is now a favorite in our house. Today my toddlers
all right, here's an idea, Nara. If you don't want your kids knowing what and eating what cinnamon toast crunch is, or like the real thing at least, don't tell them what it is. That's such a smart idea, right? Like, don't make them wait 3 hours for some damn breakfast. Just don't tell them about cereal. And like have them eat like eggs or oatmeal or like I don't know, whatever. Toast for breakfast. I don't know. Just if you don't want them to be eating that stuff, don't tell them about it. It is not that hard.
I asked my toddlers what they wanted for lunch. They both wanted a grilled cheese. So that's exactly what I got started on. I got started by making my bread. This is a really simple no-knead recipe. You put all of your dry and wet ingredients into a bowl, give it a mix, and let it rise for 2 hours, which gives me enough time to start making my cheese. I combine some milk, citric acid, and rennet in my pot. Let that heat up, and then once it's solidified, I'd return it back to the heat and stir it gently before letting all the curds drain and then stretching it out. Stretch it until it's shiny and smooth and then put it back into that cooled whey. The kids love pesto, so I made a fresh basil pesto by putting some basil, pine nuts, some garlic, a splash of lemon juice into my food processor and blitzing it while slowly adding some olive oil, and then I finished it off with some Parmesan cheese. I set that aside and got my bread out. I scooped it onto my floured surface and gently formed it into a ball. It does not have to be perfect whatsoever, and then transferred it over to my parchment before letting it bake in my Dutch oven for about 30 minutes. You need butter on your grilled cheese, so I made a garlic and herb butter by whipping some heavy cream until it's separated, pressing out all the buttermilk, and then combining it with my garlic, herbs, and some flaky sea salt. I wrapped it up in some wax paper and let that chill in the fridge while I pulled out my bread and let that cool for a little bit. We like thick slices of bread in this house, so I cut 2 thick slices of bread, sliced up my mozzarella, and then spread some of that butter on my bread, pesto on top, layered on the mozzarella, added some more
She
pesto
did
on
it
the other
again!
side, and
She
also
made
butter on the
garlic
outside
butter
of the
from
bread.
scratch. Again! I feel bad for these kids. They wanted like a grilled cheese for I think lunch and they got it for dinner. Like a grilled cheese should take 5 to 10 minutes tops, not 4 hours. Did you hear what she said? She had to let the bread rise for 2 hours. Like your kids just wanted a grilled cheese. Like oh my. So, I've come to the conclusion that Nara Smith should get a little less hate, but she deserves it. Like, I feel bad for the kids. They have stupid names, and they're just constantly hungry because they have to wait like 2 days to eat what they wanted 2 days ago. But that's all I have to say. It is 12 in the morning right now, and I need to go to bed. So, good night and goodbye. And subscribe if you like the video, and hit like if you like it. If you want to, you guys understand. It's late. Good night and goodbye.